Pino, what a pass. Sarr's looking for another.
Something feels broken at Liverpool, a team that just months ago looked unstoppable Premier League champions.
But wins it back. Liverpool do have it.
Fearless in attack.
Liverpool's tails are up. Salah!
Ruthless in defence, and guided by the same relentless spirit that made them one of Europe's most complete sides, now looks like a shadow of itself.
He's in Oceans here. Sharda versus Mahmoud.
In less than 30 days, the Reds have gone from dominant to disoriented, dropping 6 of their last 7 games across all competitions.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the opening night of the season when they won.
Yeah.
But you thought, well, they're open. You know, this is not a team that's in control of itself, and that has only continued. Again, we're talking about fine margins. The margins went their way in those first few games.
And suffering 4 straight league defeats for the first time since 2021. The champions who once set the tempo for everyone else are now chasing ghosts their own reflection from last season. It's hard to make sense of it when you look at the names on paper. Mohamed Salah, still one of the world's deadliest finishers.
Does really well. Salah takes it down brilliantly and scores brilliantly as well.
Alexander Isak, the man who was supposed to bring variety and balance to the front line.
To blame, but he kind of has, because he's the one who wanted to go on strike. He's the one who wanted to force a move through to Liverpool. So he's the one, lack of preparation in terms of this season. No games played. I don't know how much training he did. He even went back and trained with Sociedad, I think it was.
One of the few strikers in the world who could rival Haaland's quality. Florian Wirtz, the 3-time Bundesliga midfielder of the year, a generational talent brought in to transform the midfield. Add to that a roster that reads like a modern-day Galacticos packed with stars, promise and power, and you'd assume Liverpool should be even better than they were last season. Instead, they've spent £400 million only to get worse. Barely a month ago, everything looked perfect. They were 5 points clear at the top, moving the ball with elegance, intensity and arrogance, the Liverpool DNA. Their press was suffocating, their transitions lethal, their attack balanced. But now all of that has vanished. The once organised chaos of Klopp's system has turned into confusion. The press no longer bites. The midfield that was meant to control games now looks porous. The defence leaks under pressure. The decline isn't just tactical, it's psychological. The players look drained, the structure stretched, and the decisions desperate. Matches that used to feel inevitable now feel fragile. They've gone from scaring opponents to being scared of themselves. And yet, this isn't a simple story of bad form. It's a collapse with layers, tactical miscalculations, recruitment that looked glamorous on paper but created imbalance on the pitch, and a squad struggling to rediscover its identity. £400 million later, Liverpool were supposed to look like the future of English football. Instead, they look like a team stuck between eras, unsure whether to evolve or to cling to what once made them great. This is not just a slump, it's a wake-up call, because what's happening at Anfield right now isn't just about results, it's about philosophy, leadership, and what happens when brilliance turns into complacency. This is the how Liverpool, in trying to perfect greatness, may have accidentally broken it. Liverpool's greatest strength has turned into their biggest weakness. The very tactical blueprint that once defined their dominance, high pressing, compact lines, and relentless control, is now being torn apart week after week.
Caicedo nicely away from McAllister, opening up for a shot for Moises!
Arne Slot's philosophy depends on suffocating opponents high up the pitch, dictating tempo, and recycling possession through coordinated pressure. But rivals have cracked the code. Instead of engaging in the press, they're skipping it entirely. Opponents have realised that Liverpool's defensive line, positioned absurdly high, leaves oceans of space behind. The counter-strategy is simple but devastating. Go long, go early, and exploit the chaos. Statistically, the evidence is brutal. Liverpool have faced 571 long balls of 32 metres or more, the highest in the Premier League by a huge margin. That's 20.5% of all opposition passes, a number well above the league average. Every direct delivery bypasses their midfield entirely, exposing an enormous gap between defence and midfield that Slot's system seems incapable of closing. The perfect example came in the match against Manchester United, a seemingly harmless clearance clearance turned into a tactical nightmare. Brian Mbeumo challenged Virgil van Dijk for a long ball, disrupting his balance just enough for Bruno Fernandes completely unmarked to collect the second ball in acres of space. Fernandes then found Amad Diallo, who exploited Mbeumo's clever diagonal run in behind, splitting Van Dijk and Konate to score the opener. One long pass, one flick, one goal, Liverpool undone. What's even more concerning is how toothless their pressing has become. Last season, the Reds averaged 2.74 tackles per game in the final third, ranking among the top pressing sides in Europe. This year, that number has collapsed to 2.22, placing them among the 7 least effective pressing teams in the league. In the middle third, the numbers are even worse. Liverpool now sit bottom, attempting 0.7 fewer tackles than even West Ham. This decline isn't just statistical, it's structural. The intensity that once defined Liverpool has evaporated, replaced by confusion and fatigue. When the press triggers, players hesitate. When they commit, they're too slow to recover. The result? A team stretched beyond shape, vulnerable to the simplest of plays. Slot's Liverpool still want to control everything, but lately they can't even control themselves. Liverpool's £400 million summer rebuild was supposed to mark the dawn of a new era, one that blended world-class talent with tactical evolution.
Liverpool, and the messaging is clear. The champions want to retain their title. Liverpool didn't buy Isak to try and win the league. They bought Isak to try and secure dynasty.
Instead, it's starting to look like a carefully planned disaster.
Defensively, they're struggling against Brentford at the weekend. They sat in silence in the dressing room. It seems like they don't have a response. And this was today, I felt like it was a moment to control the narrative a little bit more, because it is spiraling, like you say, Poppy. And this loss could be anecdotal.
What was meant to be a statement of intent has become a warning sign of how fragile elite structures can be when change is forced too quickly. The plan was clear: rejuvenate an aging core, modernise the attack, and give Arne Slot a roster capable of matching Manchester City's depth. The execution, however, has left the team looking more disjointed than ever. The club's marquee signings were meant to elevate Liverpool back to the pinnacle of Europe. Florian Wirtz, acquired for a staggering £116 million, was supposed to be the creative heartbeat of this new project, the link between midfield and attack, the new orchestrator. Yet after 10 league matches, he's still searching for his first goal or assist. His style, precise and methodical, has clashed with Liverpool's high-octane rhythm.
Problem is, Wirtz just taken a little bit longer to settle in than we all thought. That's all it is. And if you actually scrutinise the game, Wirtz has actually created some very good chances. They've just not been taken at that time. If he would have got that assist for Salah at the weekend, before he played someone...
He slows down moves that once felt instinctive, and the synergy that defined Klopp's version of this team has vanished. Then there's Alexander Isak, the £125 million man meant to share the scoring load with Salah. On paper, he was perfect.
Had a lot of joy down this side. Guimaraes. Isak!
Tall, mobile, technically gifted. But football isn't played on spreadsheets. Isak has struggled to find rhythm and consistency, still short of match fitness after a minor injury early in the season. His movements don't yet sync with Salah's instinctive bursts or Wirtz's delayed passes. The result? Liverpool's attack, once fluid and automatic, now feels disconnected, full of talent, but starved of chemistry. Even more puzzling is the case of Hugo Ekitike. Despite being Liverpool's most effective attacking player this season, with 6 goals and 1 assist, he remains a rotation option.
Against his former club, fantastic Liverpool goal.
No other forward at the club is in better form, yet Arne Slot continues to bench him in favour of the higher profile names.
Ekitike, when he starts running, there's a change of pace and there's explosion. We're yet to see that from Alexander Isak. And so, as it pertains to that comparison, right now, there is no comparison. Ekitike should...
The manager's loyalty to the investment in Isak and Salah has come at a cost, keeping the one player delivering consistently out of the starting lineup. Ironically, the 2 stars who should now be rotating are the ones being protected, while the in-form striker watches from the sidelines. Salah, for years Liverpool's most consistent and reliable force, looks increasingly isolated.
All the way through to the back post, chance, miss.
Accustomed to the rhythm and spacing of his former partners, he now finds himself misreading runs and hesitating in moments that used to be automatic.
Mo Salah's not playing well. He's a legendary figure, one of the greatest players to ever play in the Premier League, I'd say, alongside yourself. He's at the stage now where I don't think it should be an absolute guarantee.
The telepathic connection with his teammates once the foundation of Liverpool's attacking identity is gone. It's a cruel irony. In trying to build for the future, Liverpool have broken the present. £400 million spent, and instead of evolution, what they've achieved is confusion. a team packed with world-class individuals but stripped of collective understanding. Liverpool's defensive collapse has mirrored their attacking confusion, structural, avoidable and rooted in poor planning. The sale of Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid was always going to leave a hole, but few realised how fundamental his absence would be.
I think they're really missing Trent. I think before that they would, sometimes Trent would go forward and obviously they get perhaps exposed defensively and people go on about, yeah, but defensively, but what he gives you going the other way is very impossible to replace. There is not another player I can think of in world football that plays that position in the way that he plays it offensively.
His unique ability to dictate play from deep acting as both a fullback and playmaker was irreplaceable.
Alexander-Arnold, lovely ball, brilliant goal. Oh, that just said, here you go, have one on a plate.
His successor, Jeremy Frimpong, brings pace, energy and vertical threat, but not the orchestration or spatial intelligence that once defined Liverpool's build-up. What used to be a seamless transition from defence to attack has turned into a broken circuit, where creativity dies before it reaches the midfield. On the opposite flank, Andy Robertson's clearly past his physical peak. His once relentless stamina and pressing power have faded, exposing Liverpool's left side to counter-attacks.
This is why you shouldn't rest during a match, because when Robertson decided to have a quick rest in the 96th minute, it led to him losing sight of Esteval, resulting in a last-minute winner for Chelsea.
Behind him, depth is virtually non-existent, forcing Van Dijk and Konate to shoulder an unsustainable workload. Both remain elite, but they're playing on the edge a single injury to either could send the entire defensive unit into free fall. Frimpong's own injuries have further disrupted consistency, preventing him from truly adapting to the Premier League's rhythm. And while the backline suffers, the frontline continues to complicate matters. Liverpool's squad now suffers from clashing interests, with two expensive centre-forwards, Isak and Ekitike, but no coherent system to accommodate both. The team's structure feels top-heavy. On paper, the depth looks enviable. On the pitch, it feels chaotic. Even Slot's team selections have deepened the chaos. Salah and Isak keep starting despite visibly poor form, while sharper options like Federico Chiesa remain sidelined. It's as if seniority and price tags have taken precedence over performance. The tactical low point, though, is the redefinition of Salah's role. The Egyptian king, who last season delivered an outrageous 34 goals and 23 assists, has been moved centrally tasked with holding up play instead of terrorising fullbacks. It's a creative misfire of the highest order. Salah now spends long spells isolated, trapped between defenders with his back to goal, reduced to hopeful crosses instead of incisive dribbles. His movement feels constrained, his instincts dulled. What was once Liverpool's most lethal weapon has become another casualty of a broken system. Beyond tactics and transfers, the psychological weight crushing the dressing room. Football may be a game of numbers and systems, but what's happening at Anfield this season is profoundly human. The Diogo Jota situation and his brother in a tragic car accident last July left a wound that no tactical tweak could heal. Jota wasn't just a player who contributed 12 goals and 5 assists last season. He was Liverpool's spark, the relentless presser, the emotional heartbeat of the front line. His loss has left a silence that echoes far beyond the pitch. You can feel it in the body language of the players. Mohamed Salah, usually unshakable, has been seen fighting back tears during matches. Virgil van Dijk, once the symbol of composure, admitted publicly that the season had been difficult from the start. That statement alone speaks volumes. It's no longer just a form slump, but a collective emotional fatigue. During the goalless first half against Manchester United, Liverpool dominated possession with 62% of the ball, yet failed to register a single shot on target. The contrast with the mentality monsters that once terrified Europe could not have been starker. What's worse is that Arne Slot's response to the situation has only widened the disconnect. His calm demeanour, once a strength, now feels tone-deaf. During the international break, he took a short holiday in Dubai, a move that raised eyebrows among fans and players alike. He He may have been seeking perspective, but at a time when his squad needed leadership, the optics were disastrous. Slot's mantra, reportedly borrowed from Lance Armstrong, "Smile for the cameras, attack the climb," was meant to inspire resilience. Instead, it came across as hollow. The players don't need slogans, they need reconnection. They need a leader who feels their grief, not one who manages it from a distance. As if the emotional toll of Jota's loss wasn't enough, Liverpool were dealt another devastating blow with the departure of Luis Diaz, a player whose influence went far beyond numbers.
Diaz is a joy, and I love his song too. They call him Lucho. He came from Porto. He came to score, score. Luis Diaz. He's from Barrancas, and he plays for Liverpool. Na na na. Yeah, that was so much fun. It's such a great song.
Before his exit, the Colombian had recorded 25 goal contributions in 50 matches, embodying the creative spark and direct aggression that once defined Liverpool's left flank.
Taking the direct route to Luis Diaz, Kepa committed himself!
His ability to stretch defences, break lines, and combine with Salah was crucial to how the team attacked. Losing him didn't just mean losing goals, it meant losing balance, unpredictability, and depth in the final third. Since joining Bayern Munich, Diaz has been nothing short of sensational, scoring 8 goals and providing 5 assists in his first stretch of games. It's the best form of his career, and perhaps the most painful reminder of what Liverpool let slip away. Reports suggested that Diaz had long desired a change of scenery, feeling that his role under Slot was becoming increasingly restricted. Still, his departure has left a hole the team simply hasn't filled. Being reigning champions has proven to be both Liverpool's crown and their curse. Success has turned from a shield into a weight, pressing down on every performance. Last season, opponents were still trying to decipher Arne Slot's methods. This time, they've cracked the code. Every side now knows how to dismantle Liverpool's once-feared systems, sit deep, absorb pressure, and launch long balls over the high line. The evidence is damning. Manchester United's 75 long passes, Chelsea's 67, and Crystal Palace's 71 all exploited the same weakness. No one fears Liverpool's press anymore, they invite it. That's the price of being champions. Every match becomes a proving ground. Every opponent plays like it's a final. And when the champions wobble, the entire league senses blood. Yet Liverpool's downfall isn't the result of one fatal flaw, it's a collection of small failures, compounding one another. When the press breaks down, the defence panics. When the defence cracks, the attack loses conviction. Confidence erodes from front to back. Mohamed Salah's longest goal drought without a non-penalty strike, 7 games, mirrors the drop in sharpness across the squad. Alexis Mac Allister, once a midfield engine, now wins just 37% of his tackles compared to last season. The numbers reflect a team drained of its edge. Worse still, Liverpool have conceded first in 6 consecutive matches, their worst streak in over a decade.
The ball creates so much chaos, and this is that ball.
The aura that once made them psychologically untouchable is gone. The fear factor, the belief, the hunger, all of it has faded. Still, this isn't beyond saving. Underneath the chaos, the data reveals something crucial. Liverpool's expected goals still align closely with reality. They're creating chances, they're just not finishing them.
And this is that ball.
That means the structure, while shaky, still holds potential. Slot's job now isn't to reinvent the system, but to rebalance it. A midfield trio of Gravenberch, Mac Allister, and Szoboszlai could restore rhythm and control, while benching Wirtz for now might relieve some pressure on a struggling talent. Defensively, Slot may need to compromise. The stubborn high line that once suffocated opponents now only exposes vulnerabilities. Compressing space between midfield and defence, even if it means sacrificing flair for stability, might be the pragmatic path forward. The 5-1 win over Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League showed that when Liverpool rediscover their intensity and cohesion, they still look unstoppable. But the domestic stage offers no forgiveness. With fixtures against Aston Villa and Tottenham looming, every mistake could deepen the crisis. And then came the Carabao Cup humiliation against Crystal Palace, a defeat that reopened every wound and raised new doubts about Slot's leadership.
Sarr's looking for another. Sarr's got it.
Liverpool must reconnect not just tactically, but emotionally, with the discipline, energy, and unity that once made them relentless. If they fail to do that soon, this slump won't just be a bad month, it'll be remembered as the season the champions lost their soul.